Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Q&A with Teacher Tiff. If this is your first time here, my name is Tiffani and I love teaching English to students just like you around the world. Now, in this series, I literally open up and I answer your questions so you can learn more about who I am, what I like, and I can also give you more useful English tips. Now, if you want to submit questions, all you have to do is become a member of my academy by going to letsjumprightin.com, or you can click the link in the description. I take questions each week from my academy students and I answer them each episode. So let's jump right in. All right, so our first question comes from Nemo Ali. Nemo says, "Hi, Teacher Tiffani." What's going on, Nemo? Can someone learn a new language in only 6 months? I've heard this many times, but I want to know your opinion. Now, Nemo, I'm very happy you asked this question because this is a question I have heard many times from different students. And the question actually is coming from a different question. Let me explain. Students usually put a period of time on their English language journey because they have another important goal. I've received this question from students when I was in South Korea. They said, "Teacher, all right, I need to learn English in 3 months. I need to be perfect. Can you tutor me, teacher? Come on, teacher." And I would smile because they were asking me to teach them the entire English language that took me my entire life in 3 months. But then as we continued to talk, I realized that what they actually were asking was, "Teacher, I have a big exam. And in order to pass this exam, I need to learn English." Aha. Then we continued. "Teacher, this exam will help me get a better job." So basically the student needed a better job, but they needed to pass this test and the test was in English. So they should have said, "Teacher, is it possible for me to prepare for this English test in 3 months?" And I would have said, definitely. So that's the thing with this question, Nemo. You can't become fluent like a native English speaker in 6 months. Think about it. For me, I'm an American. I speak English. It's my first language. But I also am still learning new expressions and new slang terms all the time. For example, a few months ago, for those that follow me on Instagram, you've probably learned this slang. I learned the slang Gucci. And I was like, what's Gucci? Now, Gucci just means good or something is really nice. But the younger generation, like I'm not young anymore. The younger generation, I know I look young, y'all, but I'm not that young. The younger generation, they use words like Gucci and other words. So I was like, what in the world is Gucci? So they had to teach me what that word actually means, that slang term. So I'm still learning. Now, this is to encourage you. You see, I'm still learning, but I'm okay. You need to pick a specific goal. What's your goal? Is your goal to be able to speak English when you're traveling somewhere? Okay. Yes. In 6 months, that is possible because you can learn travel English. You can learn English specifically used when you fly on an airplane, when you get to a hotel, or when you're actually going out to a restaurant. There are lots of English terms and vocabulary words that we as native English speakers use in these various situations. And in a 6-month period, you can master them. That's the thing. You don't want to speed through your English journey because when you speed, you just create more frustration for yourself. So again, pick a specific goal, then add a time to that goal, a time period. I want to be able to speak in English or pass an English interview, and I want to prepare for it for 3 months. Okay, picked my specific goal, added my time period. You can prepare for an English interview in 3 months. It's possible. I have an ebook actually where I teach you how to do that in my academy. Again, you can join by clicking the link in the description. But my point is, you have to pick a specific goal instead of just picking a specific time. The goal is more important than the time. Goal, then the time period, connect them, but a specific goal. So great question, Nemo. And also those that are watching, I hope you understand what I'm saying. You all have different goals related to English. Don't just make a general, broad statement. I want to speak English fluently. I get it. I wanted to learn Korean and speak Korean, but excuse me, you have to get more focused, and that will help you, excuse me again, develop your English skill. So great question, Nemo. All right, we have another one. The next question comes from Ali. Hey, Ali, good to see you. He says, teacher, how are you doing? I'm doing great, Ali. You know, in the midst of all that's going on, I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. He said, now he has two questions for me. First, he says, what are some successful methods you use and how do you make sure your students understand you? Now, Ali, this is something that as a teacher, I really put a lot of thought and time into. So again, when I was teaching in Korea, I had thousands of students. Each student was different. Each student had different goals. So as a teacher, now this is in the past, what I would do is I would get to know each student. My goal was always to make my students, my classes, a family. I wanted them to be comfortable with each other. So we'd have a great time laughing, joking. We'd get emotional sometimes. And I wanted them to express themselves in an environment they were comfortable in. As I tried to develop this atmosphere of family, I was also learning about each individual student. So let's say Michael wanted to pass an interview at his job, and Sally just needed to learn English because she wanted to go on vacation. So I figured out everyone's individual goal or desire, and then I figured out a commonality. What's the common point amongst all of these desires? And I taught that point. So for example, you all are on YouTube right now. And yes, I have not had the opportunity to meet you yet personally, but I read your comments, I see some of your emails, and I also see some of you active in the community we have for the Academy members, a private community. And I analyze your comments, I analyze your requests, and I try to see what's the common thread through all of the comments or the requests. And that's how I develop a lesson for you all on YouTube. So you guys have told me you enjoy the lessons, and I'm so happy to hear that. But there's always a method to my madness. Oh, that's an expression for you guys, a method to my madness, because I want to make sure I'm helping you achieve your goals. So Ali, your basic question was, how do I find successful methods? And I'm sure that you guys will understand them. Well, it's because you guys are the starters. I look to you. I see what you need, what goals you're trying to achieve, and then I try to develop plans related to English that will help you achieve those goals. So, Ali, great question. Great question. Now, your next question is it possible to get a full scholarship in the United States? Yes, but I will say this. As an American, the scholarship process, like applying for a scholarship, it can be tricky. It can be... it can be tricky. It's kind of a long process. Now, I've had friends who were from other countries and they studied in America. So it is possible. But I'll say this. You need to look up international scholarships or scholarships for international students. And one of the keys is being able to write a good essay. Now, you guys know I have the lesson where I teach you how to improve your English writing skills. So, Ali, I want you to find that video, again, amongst my YouTube videos, and practice what I teach in that video. And also, since you're in the Academy, you can see the other resources as well that will help you improve your writing skills. That's the key. When you're applying for a scholarship, you need to make sure you're writing a good essay. All right. So hopefully that helped you, Ali. Now, the next question comes from Shell. Hey, Shell. Good to see you. All right. Shell says, hey, teacher, what's your favorite Bible verse that you want to share with us? A Bible verse that can help me as I'm studying for my upcoming exam to embark upon my license as a U.S. nurse. Great question. Now, I will say this first. I want to thank all of the nurses around the world because we understand and know how difficult your job is right now with this virus situation. So thank you so much. And Shell, thank you for your desire to be a nurse and be licensed. Now, your question is, do I know a Bible verse? One of my favorite Bible verses that will help you as you're studying. And you know I do. So let me get my Bible. Hold on one second. All right. So Proverbs 2 verse 6. It's a very useful verse for when you're studying. It says, again, Proverbs 2 verse 6 says, "For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding." So we have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We need all of these things when we're studying. And so, Shell, you need all three of these: wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And God will give them to you. So again, look to Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 6. Hopefully it helps you. All right. Our next question is from Hatis. Hey, Hatis. I just want to know what you think about marriage. Dun, dun, dun. Now we're getting into it. Would you prefer to have kids and a husband or being alone throughout the rest of your life? All right, Hatis, I'm going to put my phone down and answer this question. So I am currently not married, but do I want to be married? Yes. I love kids. I want children, and I love, family life. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. So my family is very close. My parents literally have like the ideal marriage. They've shown my sister and I how to work in a marriage and how to show love to each other and overcome difficulties and all of these things. So I have a good example of what a marriage should look like. And they also showed a lot of love to my sister and I. So I have all this love that I want to give to somebody else. Like I want to have children so that I can give them the life that I experienced as well. And when it comes to marriage, I want to share my life with my husband so that we can also, raise children together. Now, I will say this. I do have standards. So, I have several standards, and standards refers to things that must be in place before I get married to any man. So first, he must be a Christian. Second, he must love children because I love children as well. Third, he must be a hard worker. I can't do lazy men. No, he needs to have good work ethic and love to work hard for his family. He needs to be an individual. And when I say he needs to be an individual, I don't like when guys follow the crowd. Like if everybody else is doing something, he'll just kind of go along. No, I need you to be an independent thinker and be strong enough to do what you need to do, even if everyone else is doing something else. And last, he needs to enjoy laughing and having a good time. Laughter really makes marriage fun. So again, these are, I say, my 5 top standards. Again, he needs to be a Christian, needs to love kids, needs to be independent, needs to be strong and have his own mind, needs to be a hard worker, and he needs to love to laugh. So I am waiting on God to provide me with a man. So please don't get in the comments, say, "Teacher, I'm ready." No, I'm waiting on God to send the man he has for me. And I know that he will. I trust in God, and I trust that he is developing me into the woman I need to be for my future husband. And whoever he is, I know that God is developing him at this point in time as well. So yes, to answer your question, I look forward to being married. I look forward to sharing my life with a man and also my children. And I'm just waiting patiently as God develops me and makes me who I need to be for when I do get married in the future. So let me know from you guys, though. I'm curious. Do you all have certain standards? So I gave you my top 5. Now, even if you're married already, in the comment section, this is kind of a conversation, guys. Let me know what your standards were before you got married. What were your standards, guys or girls? So guys, you can write your standards for the female you married or want to marry. And ladies, you can write your standards for the man you want to marry or already married. Put them in the comment section. It's going to start a very interesting conversation. So I'm very curious to know what your standards are related to your future spouse. All right, great question. I really enjoyed answering that question. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I enjoy letting you know more about me and who I am as a person. Now, again, if you want to send your questions in, you have to join my academy, and I have a special gift for you. So in the description section, you'll see the gift, and I have the link right here, letsjumprightin.com. But I want you to be able to join and try it out for the first month for $1. That's right, but you have to use the coupon code, and then I know you're going to love it and you can stay on. But the first month, I want to give you a gift of $1 for the first month, and you can join us and also submit your questions. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I can't wait to talk to you again next week. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you next time.